All right. Take two. I think it works better now. It looks like it's synced finally. Welcome, everybody, to live chat number 32, our monthly live chats. For those of you unfamiliar or joining for the very first time, this is a monthly live chat that I do talking about various topics, answering questions that I've gotten from students, private lessons, and coaching clients. Questions that I've gotten from people where I feel the answer would benefit us all. I'm always learning, as you know. There's never a limit to what we can learn from others and from experiences in life. So that's what the purpose of these live chats is to share. Let me remove that banner since we have started. And right. So today is a special edition where we are going to have guests for the first time. I've never had guests, and part of me is kind of scared because there's a whole bunch of technical issues when it comes to having guests. And sure enough, Carolina and I, one of the organizers of the Transilvania Salsa Fest, we were talking last week, or no, sorry, 2 weeks prior to set up the time for this live chat. And at that time, there was a 7-hour time difference between New York and Romania. So I set the time for 2 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. Eastern European time. Sure enough, Europe has gone into daylight savings. Go figure, right? The timing had to be that. And I came on live 1 hour ago incorrectly, and they are still teaching class. So that's why, if you're joining again, that's why we're here again. And it kind of worked out because I had some terrible connection issues before, and fortunately that got resolved. So looks like it's gotten resolved. So if you are joining, let me know if there's still a delay. Hopefully there isn't, and that's been fixed. But if not, wherever you are joining from, please let me know your city, your country, if this is your first time joining a live chat, or you are someone who tunes in every month. Without further ado, I would like to bring up two incredibly lovely people who organize an amazing event. This is their 12th year. And I had the pleasure and the honor of being one of their guest artists a couple of years ago. And Transylvania Salsa Fest is the name of the event. And it was hands down one of the best events that I've attended. And I will explain why, but I'd like to bring them on first. So let me welcome, and let us all welcome, rather, Carolina and Cotiso. Welcome to the stage.
Hello.
Hello,
Lovely,
everybody.
Magna. Lovely to be
Lovely
here
you
together with you.
guys. And Carolina
Another
is
two
the
guys.
one Carolina is the one that you cannot miss, because you see that fiery red hair, you will see it at the entire event. If you ever need anything, just look for Red walking around at the event and she will be there for you. So welcome both of you. I would like to start by inviting you to tell us a little bit about yourselves, how long you've been dancing, your school, and what made you decide to do this event and keep on going 12 years later.
Well, yes. Actually, more than 12 years because the pandemic slowed us down a little bit with the events. So 2 years down should have
Right,
been the 14th edition. So I will let
right.
Carolina start because she's.
Yeah, I dance longer than he because yeah, this year I made like 20 years of dancing. I started to dance 20 years ago with salsa. I haven't have done anything else like a dance before, and I felt in love. And since then, I'm dancing, 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 and. After a while, after 4 years, I met Cotiso, and then we wanted to start our school because we want to do the things in our own way. But what is new, we start the school with a festival, and that was Transylvania Salsa Festival. So Transylvania Salsa Festival somehow it's
How our school was born.
was born at the same time. Yeah, we organized the
So
festival, and at the same time, we opened the school
wow,
bilaterally.
that is not the normal trajectory. Like most of the time, people have a school, they've established a school for a couple of years at least, and then from that school they create an event. But that is impressive because I know you guys are lovely instructors, beautiful dancers, lovely individuals, and I'm sure considering the success of this event over all of these years, over a decade, and your school, like it's amazing. So congratulations, first of all.
We still remember that at the first edition, we had over 300 people, and we didn't figure that at that moment when we didn't have bracelet for them. We didn't calculate that we're gonna have so many people, and it was crazy.
Yes. And we are still grateful for everything that happened since then. So hopefully it will grow and we can reach more people and make more people happy, because what is special about Transylvania Salsa Festival is that we always organize it thinking about the dancer, thinking about the people attending. So they have the best conditions, so they have the best music, the best instructors. But I know we will talk in depth about everything.
I actually do want
That's
to
the
comment
reason,
on that.
because you asked us what was the reason we
Started the event. Yeah. You guys have a small delay. For anyone who is connected right now, let me know if that delay is on my side too. But I know Carolina and Cotiso are frozen. So I'm going to just remove them for a second. But I'd like to talk about what they just said, which was that they have designed an event for dancers. And it truly is, at least from my first experience at this event, the great dance floor, great spaces for teaching, for learning, lots of space, and good DJs also for the music. So if you are dancers and you want to be dancing all night, trust me, the DJs will keep you on the dance floor. They had separate rooms to accommodate all different types of dancers. So whether your passion is salsa, kizomba, bachata, whatever it is, they provided for all of that. And then of course the event venue, the hotel, the stay, everything about that event was definitely focused on creating an amazing experience for dancers. So I agree with that from my experience.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah,
We are
we
back.
are back.
We are back.
you're back. I
Back,
removed
yeah.
you guys so that
We
you
were
weren't like
lost a bit. Yeah. Busy. Yeah.
um So we did put out some questions to all of the attendees that are going to be attending this event, and before I jump into some of those questions, I know you have some questions for me, and I'll have some more questions for you. So I'll let you guys start. Damn, frozen
So
again.
for me, it was my curiosity somehow. I know you recommend Transylvania Salsa Festival to many friends of yours. I find out that someone is come from Miami to Transylvania. Why do you recommend Transylvania Salsa Festival for your friends, to your friends? What,
So one
what,
of the reasons I recommend it is location. I mean, it's not the most accessible city, Cluj, but it is beautiful. And I remember going there. I remember last time I arrived, I think 1 or 2 days earlier, just so I could see the city, which is, I recommend anyone who's attending this event to take an extra day. You know, like it's great to attend dance events and party and dance and learn all day, all night, but don't miss out on the beauty of the cities that are hosting these events. And Cluj is beautiful. I remember seeing, I think it was a salt mine. I went to some spa as well. That was really beautiful. And then another day, I went to the local village and had a like awesome shisha bar and great food. I saw the biggest bunny. I remember in the restaurant, it was like this big. So you never know what you can experience. So Romania in general, my experience with being in Romania, to a couple of the other cities, the country is beautiful, the cities are beautiful. So that's one reason. The other reason is, as I was mentioning while you guys were frozen and taking off the screen, is that the music is great. Like I remember that event and not wanting to get off the dance floor. And it didn't matter, what time of the night it was. It wasn't like you put crappy DJs at the beginning or crappy DJs at the end. Like the entire night was full of great music and really great dancers who had a very familial and communal attitude to their approach to the event. Some events have that kind of cliquey nature, and this event did not have that at all. I mean, everyone was mingling with each other. Nobody felt like people were sequestered in an area and you could not approach them. Everyone was friendly. The artists were super friendly and engaged. The dancers were comfortable and confident and smiling. So all in all, a really great experience. And that's one of the reasons why I was so happy to be re-invited to this event. It's really a pleasure and an honor to be there.
For us as well, to have you back.
And thank you for giving us all these credits. And we feel the same.
Of course. It's also one of the reasons, like, just to let people know, I know he's not going to be teaching there, but I mean, he'll be available for privates and stuff. My co-host of Naked and Counting, the other podcast, in addition to my Empowered with Magna podcast, my Naked and Counting co-host Leon Rose will also be there. And if you all know him, we'll most likely try and do an interview with you guys at the event. So keep an eye out for that. But he is an amazing person. And I was talking to him about the event and I was like, yo, if you're going to go anywhere and you're free that weekend, come to TSF.
Thank you for that.
Transylvania is waiting.
Waiting. That Dracula is waiting.
Yeah. Yes, we like to play a little bit, but actually we take everything seriously. But we don't like people being too serious because sometimes even dancing becomes too serious. And we want people to have fun, to enjoy, to bring out their most inner personality, to take it out on the dance floor, to not be afraid. And hopefully this is one thing we can make them feel, that they are safe to have that in Transilvania Salsa Festival.
To play, to be joyful, to, I don't know, be funny, like we are, all of us.
To be silly, to be whatever they feel like being in the moment, because it's all about just nurturing your inner child, because we are all children till the end. Just older children, but still children.
And we want to play and to have fun all the time.
Of course. So likewise, you have an amazing lineup of artists, but I would love to know why you brought me, why you're bringing me back. How it lines up with your event and your reasons.
Magna, I will call you every year, every month. Why? Because every time when I went to your workshops, I learned a lot. Not just one move, not just one figure, but a lot of principles that I always remembering and I'm always teaching to my students. And the principles are the most important. But at the same time, you are so creative. If I ask you to do a musicality class, you will be so creative and bring some moves that I don't know where you are taking them and to interpret the music and the way you explain everything. The analogies that you are bringing when you are explaining technique, for me, are very important. Because you bring the natural and usual stuff in explaining what sometimes is very hard to understand. And that is one thing that makes you special. The way you teach, the principles that you always observe, and the other teacher maybe do not observe or they do not teach about it.
You give clarity. You give clarity. So you always bring like the right lens, you put on the right lens towards the people, and from them to you, it's like you see through them. You see exactly what they need in order to become better, to improve their dancing. And because of you, I fell in love with spinning. you know, because you are I think at my first festivals, you are always present, and I always learn from you everything from spinning, couple spinning, single spinning. So that's why I'm a spinner.
And he's a very good spinner.
I
One of
know, I know. And speaking of that, actually, the workshops that I'll be teaching, at least at this event, uh, we have some longer intensives. Most of the workshops on the schedule are going to be an hour, but I'll be doing
Spoiler alert.
spoiler, spoiler alert. Yeah. 2 hours on Friday, 1.5 hours Saturday, and an hour and a half on Sunday. Sunday's workshop will actually be spin technique. So Cotiso just spoke towards that. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the different workshops and the importance and what the people will be learning there. So with the spin technique, I know sometimes a lot of people are like, oh, women need to learn how to spin, followers need to learn how to spin, guys don't really need to think about that. But spinning technique, the qualities, the technical details that you understand about the dance and about your own body is never ever limited to that one thing that you're learning. And that is one of the ways to approach everything that you learn. So anyone who's here today watching this live, who's going to be attending this event, taking the other workshops available by other instructors, don't limit yourself to what you're getting from that instructor and say, well, this only applies to this topic, or this only applies to this movement. If you can expand your mind, you can start to extract and apply in multiple areas of your dance and your life and movement in general. So spinning technique will be one of them. Friday's workshop is all about social dancing technique. And this is a workshop that I have done once before, but very successfully, and really enjoyed it. I was, again, similar to what Carolina just said, oh, if I ask you for anything, you'll come up with something. And I was requested to do a workshop on social dancing technique. They're like, well, you're one of the best social dancers, so can you teach that? And I was like, how would I approach this? And so I came up with a bunch of uh, elements that are present in social dancing that, if you think about them the right way, you can lead, follow anybody. So that will be our Friday workshop. And then Saturday, we're going to be doing a tools for creativity workshop, which is all about understanding how what tools you can use to transfer and translate what you've already learned. Because we're so used to piling things on. We learn a shine, learn another shine, learn another piece of styling, learn another movement. And it's before you know it, you have like 1,000 moves and you'll still only remember two, right? At the end of the day. So, so this workshop is all about taking your looking at everything that you know from multiple angles and understanding which angles to use to look at what you've learned already and apply it differently. So I am very excited about these workshops. Really excited to teach at that event again. I remember that big stage and that big room and the big banner with the Halloween theme behind me. So it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. To all of our people who are present right now, just so you know, is that you don't have to just observe. If you have any questions for me, if you have any questions for Carolina or Cotiso, anything about the event, anything about Romania, definitely throw it into chat.
Yes.
Do you guys have any other questions? Because I definitely have a few questions I got from your wife, Dada. And
Yes. We are looking
yeah,
at the same questions.
okay. All right, go for it. You go for it then.
No. You start because you have
What?
them on a bigger screen.
Mm. My screen is tiny though. It's a tiny image. It's blurry.
It's just a matter of perspective. So
yeah, perspective with older eyes is what that is. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the simple ones. So one of the questions was from Christian. It says, what is your favorite current song, salsa or bachata? And honestly, I don't really have a favorite. It depends on the mood. Every song brings something different out of me. It depends on what I'm feeling. If I'm super energetic, I might prefer a faster song. If I'm feeling like, oh, I want to feel grounded and connected to my partner, salsa romantica comes into play. So honestly, I don't really have favorite songs. I have favorite moments created by whatever song is playing and whoever I'm dancing with. I know that's not what you're looking for, Christian, but that's the answer you're getting.
Yes.
Another question from him was, how do you improve smiling when dancing in front of cameras for good pictures? Now, this one is a cute question, but also something that I'd like to address. The best smiles and the best photos are of moments that are genuine, that are not forced, where you're not trying to look good for a camera, but you're actually feeling good inside in that moment, and the camera gets the opportunity to capture it. So my first piece of advice there would be, dance to have fun. Don't smile for the cameras if you don't feel it. There are times that I've danced to a song where it's dark, or really grounded, or it's got that descarga in it, and it's heavy. Like I would look like a clown if I was smiling, and shimmy, like I would look crazy. So I'm not gonna smile just because there's a camera on me. I'm gonna do what I want. Same thing with movements that you do. There are people who I know, when the camera comes focused on you, all of a sudden the moves get more complicated and everything gets crazy. And I'm like, why? I don't feel the music like that. And you and I didn't feel the music like that 30 seconds ago before the camera arrived. So why are we doing this right now? And so I would always say, do not dance for the camera. If you're having fun, someone's recording you that you want to make a joke or a funny face, which I do all the time, sure. But don't dance for the camera. Dance for your partner. Dance for your own enjoyment. And if you're lucky enough that the camera is there to capture it, amazing. And if not, who cares? It's captured in your memory.
I have a follow-up question for this one. Uh, how do you react? What do you do when the partner in front of you feels the music in a different way than you do? Let's say it's one of your favorite songs, and you know every beat, every accent, but he also wants to interpret the music, but differently.
So I've had lots of moments like that. I've had moments like that with um, beginner intermediate dancers. I've had moments like that with advanced professional artists as well. There is a headbutting that happens initially, and sometimes you just have to give way, right? You kind of just have to say, can we find a compromise? Can we see if, like, I'm going to follow you, whatever your direction is in the music, but if I hear something, maybe you'll follow me too. And if I don't feel that, then I don't want to fight. So I'll give up that pursuit. Now, giving up that pursuit does not mean that I'm no longer pursuing my enjoyment, because I am still connected to a person, and the connection is just as important with the person, or actually the connection with the person, it trumps. It's more important than the connection with the music. It does not matter what I want to do with the music if I cannot stay connected to my partner. With some partners, you can see that there is a give and a take. And sometimes they do something, you follow them, and you insert something and they follow you, and it's beautiful and it works. But if you feel like there's a clash, just know that there are other songs and there are other partners. If you can't get everything you want in this dance, wait, enjoy it for what it is, and wait for your next dance. And also, I talked about like rejection and all of that stuff in many live chats and in my TED talk too, is if you really want a certain dance and you know who can give you that experience, by all means, it's okay to say no to someone else and go get the dance that you want, and then come and find that person later. You're not obliged to dance with everyone who asks. like everybody who's on the dance floor, not just artists, but like your regular dancer, you're not obliged to say yes because someone asks. You say yes because you want to in that moment. And if you want something more in that moment, then go do that and then come back to that other partner. You know, it's not fair. It's like saying, like let's say one friend, two friends, two good friends, you know, one invites me to go hiking and another one invites me to go to the beach. You know, if just because the first person asked me to go hiking, I like both, right? But because the first person asked me to go hiking, but today is a gorgeous day, to like a hot day, and I want to go to the beach, I'm going to say no and go to the beach. And then I'll go for a hiking trip another day, because that's also what I want, you know. And we should all be meeting on that level of, you want this, I would like to dance with you, I would also like to dance with you right now, you know. And I think that's really important, personally. Thoughts, you guys?
Another analogy that you are making, the way I know, the way you explain everything, simple life examples that
Yeah,
teach
and you
us
know,
so
like
many.
my friends, and another side note there is, for the person asking, if somebody says no to you, you know, don't take it personally. Like if I had two close friends and I said no to one person, that person's not going to stop being my friend or be like, "Oh my God, Magna's so mean," you know? They would never say that. They would accept that there was something else that I wanted in that moment, and then we would talk later about going on that hiking trip on a different day. You know, like
Yeah,
if
but
you're asking,
on it
sorry, go
depends
ahead.
on how you are. It depends on how you are doing that, how your attitude towards that person is, because you can say no in a nice way and make that person feel good and like understand, or you can do it in so many ways that you make them feel bad and maybe even quit dancing.
You can,
Yeah,
and
that
but also on the flip side, you can ask nicely without attitude, and you can ask with attitude. So there's two sides, you know. It's never one person's responsibility. It's always our own responsibility in how we show up, how we present ourselves, and how we receive whatever comes from the world to us. So if you're asking, you know, if you're like, "Hey, do you want to dance?" Like that doesn't come off as very pleasant. Or if the person says no to you and you're like, whatever, you know, artist, or like you give attitude, like I hate to say it, but you're not going to get another dance with that person, because who wants to dance with that? Right? So for everybody out there, dancer, if you're asking, if you're being asked, do your best to be as kind as possible. And whatever you put out there, however it's received, if it's not received well, don't make it personal. And just remember why you're there. You're not there for one person, you're there for your own enjoyment. And your own enjoyment consists of dancing. Well, there are thousands of people there. Okay, so one person is nothing. They're like not even 1%. So
Don't
don't
let
let
one
1%,
person ruin your night.
don't let 1% ruin your night. Exactly. um I got a question for you, actually. This one was to me, but I think it could be for you too.
Which one? Which
Did you
one?
ever struggle with imposter syndrome, comparing yourself with others?
Oh yes, that's a given. Like always, and that's what I learned by analyzing myself and this imposter syndrome. Always there will be someone better than you. Always there will be a new trend in dancing that maybe you will not be an expert in. So if I don't know everything, if I'm not in a learning period right now, that doesn't mean that I cannot enjoy everything I'm doing and that I cannot teach what I do know. So it's not that if you are an expert or a teacher, you need to know everything that's out there. So even as a dancer, even as an instructor, I think we should always be grateful for what we know, not brag or not take it to another level of arrogance or something else. But I'm dancing, I am what I am dancing. So if you like it, that's good. If you don't, then you're not the right person. Don't look at me. Don't come to my classes.
yeah, but still, I have it. I still have it as an instructor, as a dancer. Sometimes I'm thinking, oh, when people are telling me, I like so much what you're doing, how you're dancing, and my mind is, well, I'm not dancing that well. Maybe that person don't realize that I'm not that good. But then I'm thinking, okay, but maybe I am. It is a struggle because, like Cotiso said, all the time there are coming new dancers, younger, more beautiful, better, of course. And yeah, sometimes, I mean, we always compare ourselves with others because this is the world we are living in. But we need to come down into ourselves and then to think, okay, I am who I am, and it's okay, and maybe I'm good.
Yes, and that shouldn't take away our shining ability, because there was another question about shining. But I think shining is not only about the footwork, but it's about what you express on the dance floor. And if your attitude is doubtful, if you doubt yourself, then you will express it in your dancing, in your movement, in your leading, in your following. The other one will feel it. So what is very important is that you let go, you connect to your better self, and just accept that you are enough. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then become
To
better. You go to Magna's workshops and you become better.
to answer that question myself about, do you ever struggle with imposter syndrome and comparing yourself with others? I've definitely had that. I still have that. I've had that in all areas of my life: dance, speaking, teaching, everything. And what I've learned is that comparing ourselves to others is not uncommon. It's unavoidable, actually. We're going to see things and say, "Oh, that's nice," but how you absorb that comparison is what makes a difference. So if you're looking at that comparison and judging yourself, that's what could bring you down or inflate your ego unnecessarily. But if you look at it as something to strive for, so if there's someone really good and you see something that you're like, oh, I wished I knew how to do that, I like how that's done, then I can also learn. This is another human being that is doing this. I am a human being too. So it's really ultimately about the effort that you put in and the dedication that you have to learning and growing. Likewise, if you see somebody who is not that good, and that, again, that comparison of inflating your ego, oh, I'm better than that person and I'm better than that person too. Instead of that, if you see something that's poor technique, you want to look at yourself and say, not that I'm better, but here's something that I should not do, that I should also keep in mind. This is bad technique and I don't do it right now, but who knows, maybe I fall into that bad habit. Just like in life, right? We see people who are doing great things and we say, wow, I want to be like that person. So instead of absorbing the characteristics that you can never be that person, but you could learn what they do and become better at those things. Or seeing someone who's has really bad habits or poor communication or who's rude and saying, oh, what a jerk, right? That's a judgment. But if you instead look at that and say, wow, these are poor qualities of communication. How can I make sure I avoid them in my own communication? So comparison is okay. Ideally, you should just be comparing yourself to your past self. And I promise you, you're going to be better and better and better every single day. But if you do find yourself comparing yourself to others, then make sure that it's not with a tone of judgment and it's not about either putting yourself down or inflating your ego, but instead taking the characteristics that you like, striving for them, or taking the characteristics that you don't like and trying to avoid them, I would say.
Yes. And more importantly, you will be happier if you just compare to yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's important.
So I got another question.
It's important.
Sorry?
Who am I today comparing with me from yesterday? And
Exactly.
Yes.
And there's actually this line, like when people have ups and downs in their growth, right? There are a lot of times that we're like, whoa, I understand everything. And then there's another moment where you're like, man, I don't understand anything. I'm dumb. I suck, right? I actually had this with one of my coaching clients, and I mentioned like we tend to look at that line here, right? We have this straight line and we say, okay, these are my highs and now these are my lows, and this is just the flow of life, right? But in reality, that line is not parallel to the ground. It is on an angle. Well, let me see which angle. Whatever. It's on an angle, right? So we start here. We have this line on an angle. And so when we have our highs, we're still going up and down on that line. But when we have this high and we have this low is not as low as the starting low. And if you remember that, it's much easier for you to say, even though I'm not feeling accomplished today, even though I'm not getting it right now, I'm not understanding this, or I failed at this thing, I am not back down at the bottom. I'm still higher than the lowest point I've ever had, and it's a great way to look at your moments that are low in your life as still high points by comparison.
Now that's a very nice perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Madalina's here. There's a comment. I don't know if you guys can see it in the chat. I want to say hi to Caro and Bo. Here, actually, I think I can show it. Here we go. I want to say hi to Caro and Bogdan. Is it Bogdan or Boydan?
Bogdan, yes.
Bogdan,
Bogdan, Cotiso, they are both my names.
First names, right. Have a curiosity from the past years. I moved to USA back in 2013 under the impression that New York Salsa Congress should be the best of the best, but somehow no known artists or instructors were attending back then. Why did that change in the past years with recent changes to organizers? Do you attend the New York Congress, or are you invited to teach? Oh, I thought it was for you because I saw the hi to both
Just
of
the
you.
hi. Yes. Hello, Magdalena. Yes. So the hi was for us, the rest is for you.
So Madalena, there are still a lot of international artists that attend the New York Congress. There are now two events, or actually there's more than two events that are happening in New York. I do teach at the BIG Salsa Festival, which tends to happen in May in the spring compared to the one that happens in September. Ultimately, I think the best way to see who's going to be attending is check the lineup, and maybe you find one person. And sometimes it's not about attending an event for the mass. Sometimes it's about attending an event for something specific, and that kind of goes to another question I had received, which was, how with so many great instructors, and this came from Wade, with so many great instructors to take classes with, how can I optimize my schedule to maximize my learning experience to get the most out of it? And so, for the students out there, if you're there to learn, you kind of can't come in there and say, okay, look, everything, and I'm going to take everything. If you're starting out, sure, go dabble here, dabble there, and see what gels with you. But if you're there with some experience, you need to have goals for anyone to be able to help you achieve them. Because if you don't have goals, if you're just learning for the sake of being in a class and moving around, you might get something out of it, but you might not necessarily be laying the foundation for progress. And laying the foundation for progress really requires you to be able to say, what is my purpose here? And no one can answer that except you. So let's say you've got a lineup of 20 salsa instructors, 30 salsa instructors. What are you there for? Like, maybe you're there to say, okay, I really want to get better at performances. So who's a great performer and what do they teach generally? This is what I want to learn. Or I want to get really good at musicality. So then take a bunch of classes that will support that. Go to the instructors that are good at that and can teach that. But try and have a goal as a student, and then it'll make an event like you were saying, Madalena, about New York Salsa Congress, supposed to be known for the best of the best. It doesn't matter if everybody's the best, but if there's one person that's the best instructor for you in that moment of your journey, That's all that matters, right? And that's how we need to approach our learning. It's not about, well, give me all the good things, because how could you even take, I mean, we have what, 3 simultaneous workshops every hour, right? Like, how could you you are physically, humanly not capable of taking everything that's available. And so the only way to really maximize your time and your learning is to identify what you want to work on, and that will change. You know, taking classes from one instructor does not mean that everyone else sucks. That's not what you're saying, but you're saying, this is what I want to work on today. Just like in school, right? We have math, we have science, we have English, we have all these subjects. Focusing on something does not mean that all these other subjects are irrelevant, but this is your goal. Because why? I want to be an accountant. So are you going to go and take English literature and how to draw and paint? It still will help you, but it's not going to help you get to your goal. So you're going to take more math, accounting, finance classes to get to your goal, right? So just remember, because you pick something does not mean that you are by nature, by omission, saying everything else sucks. That is never your statement. You know, all you're saying is, right now, this is my focus. That's what I want to work on. What are your thoughts? For as organizers of the event?
Yes. As organizers, we always struggled with making the best choices in who putting in the same time with whom, because we had different frustrations. Like, there were people that wanted to go only to the salsa classes. We had people that wanted to go only to the international artists. We had people that they don't want everyone being in the same time. They don't want to be, so it's very difficult to make everyone happy. This year, for example, we tried to put just one salsa, one bachata, one kizomba, just to make them more even. Not always, but we tried that. And other people also say, please don't put the important artists in the morning or in the end of the schedule. But then I need to put them side to side. So you still need to choose. If I put them all day long from morning until dawn, then you can at least go to them and enjoy them. So there's always a reasoning behind how we do the schedule. Some parts where we cannot really change much is because of the flights and because some arrive later or they leave earlier. So we need to put them more. So the other need to adapt because of that. So it's not an easy job.
Oh,
And sometimes we explain to them, if you cannot go to 6 workshops, you choose 3 and do those 3 workshops, give the best of you, and you will have them with you. Don't go and be stressed and be tired. And if you set your mind, okay, I can do 3 workshops, remain with that, and do not be frustrated because you cannot attend the others. You choose 3, for example, and you are glad with it and you give your best for that.
I mean, instructors and workshops are like areas of dance at the end of the day, right? There's so many different areas of dance. There's body movement, there's styling, there's footwork, there's spins, there's leading, there's following. I mean, we don't work on all of those things simultaneously per se. Yes, we learn a little bit, right? But we don't work on all of those things. We start with our basics. Right? It's not like we're like, okay, I'm going to work on basics and I'm going to work on spins and I'm going to do, no, we build up. And so again, it's not a negative remark on anything else or any other instructor. It's just a matter of focusing your attention. And hate to say it, but like, as much as you would like to be able to take from everything, going to a workshop, being passively present, meaning you're there just copying the instructor, but not really absorbing everything because you're exhausted, you haven't slept, you've been taking class after class after class, and then recording the workshop at the end only to just put it in your hard drive for the next 20 years. Like, that's not learning. You know, you would be better off. Say what?
Or the grandchildren to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, putting it, well, who knows how they'll be watching things, because I know 20 years ago I had floppy disks. So I know some people who are younger are like, what is a floppy disk? Anyways, yeah, like I would like to second what Carolina is saying here is, decide on the workshops. Either go in with topic centric, right? So I want to work on my lead and follow. So look at the classes that are about leading and following. Or I want to work on movement. So look at those classes. Or I want to understand why a dancer, why an instructor or an artist does what they do. Take all of their classes. Because in every class that they're teaching, every topic is going to bring something else out about their philosophy, about their methodology, why they think the way they think. So if I mean, I have that with some people that are coming from like the UK who are planning to take my workshops, and it's because they're like, I like the way you dance in general, and I want to know how you do that. So if you just come and take a footwork class, like, yes, you'll understand what I think about footwork and how I explain movement. But if you take my social dance technique class too, you'll understand why I do what I do on the dance floor. And if you look at the creativity tools workshop, you'll understand how I create. So here you have a greater understanding of that dancer's approach. So if there's someone on the schedule, on any schedule lineup, that you're like, I really like the way they do things, and I want to better understand that, because I aspire to be able to do some of those things, then take all of their classes, because you'll learn more and more in different ways about how they think about dance. You know? Do you guys have any follow-up questions? I'm going to look at the questions here.
We are mesmerized. We are mesmerized.
I know. I'll tell you one thing, from doing all these live chats, from Toastmasters, from all the other public speaking gigs, talking is no longer an issue. Not that it ever was, but it definitely isn't now. Okay, so Christian also asked, what's the best festival to go to? Obviously, Transylvania Salsa Fest.
Wow.
I'm not going to say anything else.
I have a different answer to that. Like, of course, it can be if you go to it, but just beside the fact that we are organizing it, I think that everybody should have a vibe. And if you go to a festival, you are looking for something. Like, some people don't go to workshops. So festivals that have many, many workshops inside them, maybe it's not the festival for them. Other people, they want to go dancing all night. If you choose a festival that ends at the party at 2, 3 a.m., it's not a festival for you. If you want to go for high-level dancing, then you need to see who is teaching, what they did in the past, to see if they have social dancing videos or everything. But in the end, I think you need to see what is tailored for you. And we really think that Transylvania is tailored for more people, because we still want to keep the old vibe, like we want to keep it cozy, but still we want to raise the level of dancing, but also keeping all the other dances. Like, we want to keep bachata close, we want to keep kizomba close, because that's what we do here in Bailarte, in our dancing school, all the time. We want to create, like we say, complete dancers. We want them to enjoy everything, because when you go to a mixed party, if you only know how to dance salsa, you enjoy 33% of the night. And the rest, you're sitting, okay, you're socializing, but maybe you want to maximize your dancing time. Maybe you want to enjoy the ladies, the followers, the leaders that are dancing bachata or kizomba, and you cannot because, oops.
And in this way, the community is bigger and more beautiful. With more people, more dances, everything is more beautiful. And for us, it's very important, the community. And as we said before, about people and people feeling good together. And we are feeling good together all the time.
And we want to bring that spirit of acceptance, that there isn't a style better than other. Like, all styles are good, even inside salsa. It's like speaking one language with so many different dialects. It's the same with bachata, it's the same with kizomba. Like, kizomba, everybody's creating a different language every year right now. Okay, so we need to adapt if we want in our own time, but still we want everybody to feel that they are here, they are close, they are together, and we want to bring everyone together and feel good with all the dancers. Nothing is better than being with people that are together, and they have that shared love for dancing, no matter the style.
Absolutely. I agree. And that actually takes me back to um the workshop thing, similar to your approach. You're right. I mean, I'm obviously, this is guest edition of Transylvania Salsa Fest. So Christian, I'm obviously going to answer that with Transylvania Salsa Fest. That's the one that you should go to because that's coming up in 3 weeks. But like to, oh wow, yeah, time flies. You see.
Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah.
So yeah, but like Cotiso said, it depends on what your goal is at an event. You need to identify that. Likewise, with workshops, scheduling your time, or attendance at an event, you got to know what you're going for. You can't just go without any idea of what would seem like an accomplishment, what would seem like you achieved something, what would clearly identify that you were having fun or that you learned something, because it's possible everything could be offered. Like you have 90 things being offered to you, but you need that 10 to really have fun, and that those 10 things are not there, and you would have known that if you looked at the schedule or if you looked at the event. So identify what makes you happy, what you're trying to achieve, um, what you're trying to connect with, and what you're trying to learn. And don't expect the event to deliver if you have not clarified what you're looking for. Because oftentimes, like any relationship, and a dancer attending an event is a relationship with the event. A dancer attending a workshop is a relationship with that teacher. So like any relationship, if you haven't identified what you want, it doesn't matter what that person provides, it will always feel like it wasn't enough. But if you identify what you're looking for, you can very quickly talk to somebody and say, you know what, I don't think we're a match. I don't think that you can bring this to the table. Appreciate you for who you are, but I think I'm going to move on to somebody else. And that's totally okay.
So
So
for people, for
say
people who
again.
want to know, if you want to come dancing in a swimsuit, Transylvania is not the festival for you.
There you go. Perfect. Exactly. There you go. So there's another question here. We did the smiling one. Okay. Actually, I'm going to ask you this and then I'll answer it after. And also, actually, let's just say hi to a couple of people in chat. I don't know where you're seeing it on Facebook, I guess, but I see a couple of people, whoever messaged. I do not see who's logged in, but Aurelia, I don't know where you're from, but hello. Your dance school joined. Wade, obviously. Dada was here. Vilma, she's actually the organizer of the New York Salsa Congress. So for those of you wondering about the New York Congress, she is one person that you can reach out to. Vilma Villavicencio. I hope I said that right. Benati, Mike Goldfinger's in the house. Olesia, she'll be there too. Mark Anthony and Olesia will be there as well. So what I wanted to answer is, the question rather that I'll answer after you. Oh, Miriam, I remember her. I danced with you. I led you. I have a video with you. Beautiful dancer. Oh, I hope you'll be there this in 2 weeks. It'll be lovely to dance with you again. So for you, is any tips for leaders that feel bored with their own moves?
Well, that's a more complex question, just because it depends on what level you are getting bored with your moves. If you're dancing for just a few months and you only know a few moves, then it's easy. You go to workshops, you learn new moves. The problem is when you are dancing for a long, long time and you are bored with whatever moves you're doing, even if they are complex, that means that something else is missing. And I would say that it is about connection and musicality. Because actually, for leaders out there, it's not about the moves, it's about how you put those moves on the music and together with your partner. So you can do just a crossbody lead, inside turn, outside turn, but do it at a special time with the right timing, with the right flow, and you can make that girl happy. And if the girl is happy, I don't think you should be bored.
That's a very good point.
as a follower, for me, the music is always an inspiration. And because I'm a more emotional, I can get inspired to do some moves because of the music. Just sometimes, I don't know, making it slower or being creative. Maybe you will teach, I think you will teach some things like this, how you transform your moves to be more creative and not to get bored of that. And of course, all the time, you can learn more.
Yes, if you want more moves, it
You
can
learn
help.
more.
Yeah.
I
But just
style or
until
something
one
else.
level. When
Right.
moves will not be enough at one point in your evolution.
Sure. And I would actually agree with that because I had a similar experience in my dance journey, which was getting really good at following. That was one of the things I became known for early on in my dance career. And then feeling like, well, I can follow everybody. Now what? Like, I'm bored. So,
Yeah.
Christian asked about this for leaders, but as a follower, I was feeling bored because I'm like, I can follow everyone. Like, what else is there? And that's kind of when I realized that, as Cotiso mentioned, that's when I realized the connection element. And I've always said this, and I will say it again in every single class that I teach. So be prepared to have this repeated to you. But nobody is the same 1 second to the next. We are always different. I am different I'm different when we started this live chat to when we started the previous live chat. I was stressed out. So my energy, everything was different. It was hard for me to even sit calmly at my desk because things were not working out. Now, way more relaxed because everything's working out. So dance to dance, we're different. Even if you're dancing with the same partner, that person is different in this song than another song. That person might be different on this area of the dance floor, which is sticky compared to a slippery area of the dance floor. There's so many factors and elements that are constantly changing that impact who we are and how we show up. And so boredom, I find, comes from thinking you are doing the same thing over and over again. And trust me, whatever you have done, you have never repeated. This, like, yes, to a degree, we repeat movements, but in reality, if we break it down, temperature is different. Time of day is different. Something is different about when that thing occurred. So if you can approach your dance, your own dancing, and every dance with somebody else and every interaction with other people as what's new, what's different, it's impossible to get bored. And that is one of the things that for me, with all the going to events and seeing some of the same people at various events, or over a course of a weekend, seeing the same faces, or going to socials locally in New York and New Jersey and seeing really the same faces, dancing with the same people. I mean, I could very quickly be like, I'm bored. These are the same damn people all the time. But in reality, these are different people every time. They're growing just like I'm growing. They're impacted by their own lives just as I am. When I eat too much, I feel bloated and I can't dance as well, so they're now impacted by me being different. So there's always change, and that curiosity of like looking for what's different and connecting with someone with a familiarity of who they are, especially if you've danced with them before, or the dance. Yes, you're familiar with the dance. Yes, you've done a crossbody lead. Who knows, 1 million, 1 billion times, right? Depending on how long you've been dancing. But look for the difference, and you will find that that crossbody lead, as simple as it is beautiful and unique in its own right.
Yes.
And Stefan Zazumpi, yeah, he just said, in my book, that's why it's good to be open to learn new things all the time and see new perspectives without judging. 100%. And Romain, hello from Paris. Okay, so I don't want to keep you guys on very, very long. So where can people find out about Transilvania Salsa Fest? How can they sign up or get in contact with you? What information would you like to provide?
Okay, so the event is on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. And if you want to see everything about the vibe, about what was in previous years, just go there, search for us, see how things are built, how the vibe is there. If you want to buy tickets, you have the Go and Dance ticketing platform. The links are in the event, they are everywhere. If you want better prices, promo codes, just go to your instructor. If they don't give you a promo code, come to us. Maybe we can give you one. Okay?
I think we have the contacts there.
Yes.
Me, Cotiso, and Dada.
We have the phone numbers, everything. So
contact us even on WhatsApp, for example.
Exactly. And just know we are thinking of you. We want to bring you the best experience ever. We will have the biggest floor for all the nights for salsa, more wooden floor everywhere. So it will be even more space for dancers. And because we know that more good dancers will be coming. I think it's the highest international attendance ever this year. So, and only amazing dancers that subscribed, that signed up. So it's really great. You know, you have a salsa room, you have a kizomba room, you will have a bachata room, okay? Social room during the day. We will have, even for the social room, we will have salsa and bachata together with focus on salsa, but we also have a kizomba room in the social during the day. So we will not mix all of three because we know that kizomberos like to dance more with a lady, so we give them that opportunity. We respect the culture.
Lovely. So for those of you logged in, you should be able to see it on the bottom of the screen, Transilvania Salsa Fest. You can look them up on Instagram and on Facebook or on Google, and you can find the information there. We have today Carolina and Cotiso, who also run the school Bailarte in Cluj. So if you are in Romania, if you want somewhere to learn and study, that is one place to go check out. And if you are a dancer in Europe that is looking for a fun event that is going to bring a lot of quality instruction, quality social dancing, great music, great vibe, I highly recommend Transylvania Salsa Fest. I had a great time the last time I was there, and I am absolutely ecstatic to be back there, especially because I got a whole bunch of people that are now going to come that I get to see, some friends who I haven't seen in a long time. So
thank you, Magna's friends, for coming.
they're going to have a great time. Sorry?
Looking forward to having you there and all your friends because we know you are bringing very good energy, and that's what we love. We love you. We love seeing all the people that we love there because it's an event that we make especially with our hearts, you know, because it's there. We do it even in the years when not so many people attended, or the expectations were higher and it didn't happen as we wanted. Even then, we wanted to go on because we did it for the people. We did it with our hearts because we want to give a special experience, or how we say it, a bloody great experience.
We are always thinking what people would like or what people would need. And this is how we started the first edition of Transylvania. This is what we did, the festival. What we were thinking, what we would like, and the people around us would enjoy, would love, would need. So this is how we started, and we think it's a good principle, so we go on with this one. And this, we will not get bored to organize this festival because we will always do from the bottom of our hearts. So we go on like this.
Nice. So don't forget, 16, 20 November, 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now, and it was a bloody great experience, and it's going to be a bloody great experience. And for everyone attending this event or any other event, whatever issues you might have, as there's always something, right? Like, we're just human. Just remember, as you can see, listening to them, the smiles on their faces, the energy behind their voice and the words that they're saying, like, most organizers come with a lot of passion and love and work through some really difficult times to put together an event for your enjoyment. And at the very least, if you see these two around, at least say thank you, for doing this, because it makes a difference. And the events that are still out in this world that are bringing together artists and bringing together dancers. That's how we keep our culture, how we keep this dance, how we keep this community alive, thriving, and growing. And, we would not be able to do this without organizers like yourselves. So I, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And I hope that during this event, before this event, after this event, that you both and your entire team get a lot of praise for doing this, as every organizer should.
If we see people happy, that's our praise. So just know, if we see you smiling and if you're enjoying, then it's the most you can give us.
Perfect.
Magna, thank you for inviting us, for doing
Of
this edition with us about Transylvania Salsa Festival. Thank you for all the kind words that you are always saying about us and about the festival. And thank you for who you are and for everything you are teaching. Even today, in a show like this, in a live chat, I have learned a lot. And thank you.
You really are an inspiration. Thank you.
Well, my
Anyway,
pleasure. I am here just like you guys to serve. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help people grow and elevate themselves and feel empowered on the dance floor and off the dance floor. So we have the same mission. And
Exactly.
we're going to get to combine our missions together in a couple of weeks. November 16th to the 20th.
20th, yes.
November 16th to the 20th, Cluj,
The heart of
Romania.
Romania, yes.
Romania,
Dracula's.
Transilvania Salsa Fest. Check them out. Again, thank you very much for joining. This was my first time. I'm really glad it worked out the second time around. And next time I'll have to check the date and the time to make sure we lined up, because I was like, where are they? And then you're like, we're still teaching. It's 8 o'clock. And I'm like, oh my goodness, daylight savings. So
Thanks.
yeah. Um, Thank you again. I am going to remove our guests from the live and answer just a couple more questions that popped up that are kind of not related to the festival about shoes. So I'll just answer that because someone was asking it at 2 o'clock and I couldn't answer. Thank you again, Cotiso. Thank you, Carolina. It has been such a pleasure to Carolina. I've seen you in so many workshops, in my travels. And I appreciate it. I really do appreciate the support by you being there, by you participating, all the lessons that you take back, and the fact that you both are like taking the things that you've learned from me and then passing it forward. I mean, it's great because those are people I would not be able to reach,
Exactly.
but I am in an indirect way thanks to
Exactly.
you.
And we are saying this is from Magna. We find out from Magna because we
I
remember.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it, and I cannot wait to be there. I'm counting
We
down
do.
the
See you in
days.
2 weeks.
We love you. We love you, Magna.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
All right. So I do want to answer a question that I had from Gina before we got disconnected at the 2 o'clock live. Gina's actually from Cluj, so I'm sure, Gina, you'll be attending the event. She was asking about Fuego sneakers. Most of you have probably seen me dancing with Fuegos, either the high tops, the regular sneakers, or the split sole. Which do I recommend the best for salsa? My personal experience, I like the split soles because the split sole has the most flexibility, but it still has a hard bottom that allows you to walk outside without any issue. Also, with what else? There was one other thing that I got. Someone asked, "What is one thing from your dancing journey that you would change and improve your current skills?" Personally, I like my journey the way it is. I'm very satisfied and happy to be where I'm at today. Could I be somewhere different? Of course. But ultimately, the choices you have already made, if you are satisfied and have no real regrets, you can appreciate where you are today and then work on going forward in the future. If I had to change anything in my dancing journey, I think it would be how I take care of my health. Not so much in the pursuit of other training necessarily, but how I would take care of my health. Because Where I did not do that, it impacted me severely and negatively for years. Like to this day, I still have a weaker ankle because I sprained my ankle in 2007 and I did not touch it. I didn't take care of it. I kept dancing. I wrapped it up. I broke my toe and that impacted my back because of the way I was walking to avoid putting weight onto that toe. Um, and that lasted almost like 2 years, 3 years of an injury, all because I did not take the time to rest and heal and recuperate. So, for all of you that are out there dancing, when you feel your body needs rest, it's really important to take that time to rest. And if you feel like you're injured, don't push the issue of dancing. Or if you're an artist, or if you're an instructor or a performer and you're injured, don't force the dancing. If you can, take the time off because you will be better off for it and your body will thank you and your body will perform better. So that's a couple of things. And lastly, I wanted to say I am going to actually be hanging out in Europe for a couple of weeks. So I will be, Transylvania is my first stop. I'll be going from there to Budapest. Two of my friends who will actually be joining us also in Transylvania, Mark Anthony and Alessia. I'll be in Budapest, Hungary for a couple of days, available for privates. From there, I'll be in Berlin for a week, hanging out with another one of my best friends, available for privates. And in Paris, finally, with my co host, Leon Rose, who will also be attending the Transilvania Salsa Fest. We will be trying to organize something, a class there, and of course, available for private. So if you are interested, by all means, shoot me a message on Instagram or on Facebook or via email through my website, magnagopal.com, if you're interested in privates in any of these locations. So Cluj, Romania, Budapest, Hungary, Berlin, Germany, and Paris, France. While I'm there, I will be there until December 5th or so. And also, who knows, I'm definitely going to be going out to eat something and enjoy the city. So if you are nearby, you could always pop in and join. Lovely to have all of you here today. Thank you again. A big thank you to our guests, Carolina and Cotiso from Transilvania Salsa Fest and their entire team. Obviously, this is not a two-person event. This is a team event. There are a lot of people that volunteer their time, lots of time and hours to make this event what it is, and it is a bloody great experience. So if you are in the area in Romania, check it out. And lastly, don't forget to check out the Empowered with Magna podcast, the audio podcast, which is available on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, all over the place. If you do check it out, please leave a rating. I would really appreciate it. Like, subscribe. And if you want to support this channel, the easiest way to do it, the freest way to do it, is by hitting like and subscribe. So I would really appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing you in live chat number 33, which will be in December. I am not sure if it will happen in the first week of December because I'll be traveling and just returning. So it might happen in the second week, but of course I will be posting the flyer and the event soon. So one of the easiest way to get notified is to hit subscribe and then click on the notifications on YouTube, and you'll be notified that there's a live that is scheduled. And since I won't have any guests for December, there should be no issue with daylight savings affecting the outcome of our live chat. Again, thank you to everybody who joined today. Thank you to all of you who submitted questions in advance. Really great questions. For those of you who are here from Romania and from Cluj who are going to be at the event, I am looking forward to seeing you again. Sumpi, Miriam, and obviously my other friends who joined this live chat too. So really looking forward to seeing you all. Thank you again. If you have any questions, magnagopal.com, go to the contact section. You can leave a message there. Or if you would like to leave your feedback on today's session, maybe you like the whole guest experience and we would like certain people to be invited to this monthly live chat. If that's the case, please complete the feedback form, magnagopal.com/feedback. It's also available on the contact page. You can leave your thoughts about what we discussed today, any of the topics, if you have any other questions yourself. And if you do want guests in the future, let me know in that form, and I will do my best to attend to your requests. I'll do my best. Cannot promise anything, but I will do my best. And with that, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dada. Thank you for submitting those questions. I would not have seen them at 2 o'clock. Fortunately, I did have a little hiccup, technical hiccup, and was able to catch them. That's everything. Yeah. Au revoir, Romain. Have a lovely rest of your afternoon, rest of your evening, rest of your night. We are in Romania, if some of you are joining there. And I'll see you next month. And of course, always a challenge to get off, right? How do I get out of here? Too many buttons.